Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. If you just believe, 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 Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. You just believe, 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 believe. Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. If you just believe, 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 Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. We are back, people. Welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing very well. Hope you all enjoyed your weekend. Myself and Joe, we kind of took a weekend off. I won't lie. We had a watch-along plan for Forest, but a few things came up. Some family shit, some personal shit. You know, you always got to put yourself first and your family and that. So we're back. Listen, we're back. I did a review video yesterday, kind of a summarized review. And on that video, if you watched it, you'll know I said we'll properly dissect it on this stream, myself and Joe. City win ugly at Nottingham Forest. North London Derby, 4 games to go, plenty to talk about, players to talk about, a little bit about transfers maybe. We're going to talk about the whole lot, but as always, before we get started, house rules, hit the thumbs up button, people. Hit that big like button, man. It helps more than you can believe. More than you can believe. And subscribe if you're new around here. Who have we got in the building, man? Who have we got in the building? Any members? Of course we have members. Briggsy, Poneet, Mojis, Elder, and then we've got OKK, Nick, Mr. Fro, Only Blue in the Village, MCE TV. Welcome, 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 everybody. Hope you're all doing very well on this Monday afternoon, the beginning of a new week. Like I said, hit the like button, man. Hit the like button, and let's get started. City win ugly at Forest, Joe. It was ugly, man. It was really fucking ugly. It was not a nice game to watch. It had banana skin written all over it. You know, Chris Wood probably could have scored 3 or 4 himself. Defensively, we were sloppy. We're going to talk about Kyle Walker. We're going to, you know, shoot the shit with him, see what the story is there. We're going to big up Gvardiol. But listen, summary before we break it down. How did you feel about that? This is your first time getting to speak about it.
I mean, what more is there to say than what an absolute shit show, but we take it. Like, it was so bad. It genuinely, we are so lucky that Forest are where they are and that they employ Chris Wood up front, who is so inconsistent as a striker. You know, he's either scoring a hat-trick or he's scoring nothing. Like that's Chris Wood's got a hat-trick. City fan, yeah, evidently. I mean, people digging up his old tweets and all of this stuff, but no, I couldn't believe what I was watching. Genuinely couldn't believe my eyes. I was thinking it was going to be one of them. It had last season against Forest away written all over it, didn't it? At 1-0, you know, a bit leaky at the back. Forest were getting through. You just thought it's a matter of time before they score. We need another goal, which is exactly what happened last season, where it just felt like a matter of time before they scored and we needed another goal. We missed chances. They got their goal. We drew 1-1. It felt like that again. But thank God for Chris Wood being a City fan, because my God, he missed some absolute sitters. He should have had a hat-trick. It should have been worse. It really should have been worse. But I mean, I guess you have to say credit to the team. I mean, they grinded through that game. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't easy. It was probably the least control that we've had in a game in a long time. Even with the personnel we had on the pitch, you look at Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, Grealish. Even with those players, we still lacked a lot of control in that game. Forest had more shots than us. That doesn't happen very often, a team having more shots than us. So Forest played pretty well. I think they'd be disappointed to not get something out of that game. I don't think they would have expected to, but I think given the way it panned out, they would have been disappointed to at least not even score, I think is the big one for them. But of course, we take it. We 100% take that result, because this is the business end. This is the results matter more than the performances now. And that's, 3 clean sheets in a row? So we absolutely take those.
We didn't deserve a clean sheet yesterday by any means. Like Forest, Chris Wood himself should have handed the keys to Arsenal to the title. You know what I'm saying? Put them in the driving seat, because defensively we're all over the place. And I think we're going to start with Kyle Walker. Like, look, we're going to talk about the meaning of the win and how we got the win, of course, but we have to talk about individual players. And the hot talking point right now, it is Kyle Walker. It absolutely is Kyle Walker. And I tweeted. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know, I don't criticize too often on Twitter. I try not to criticize too often at all, because, you know, you can't really criticize when you're successful as we have been. And, you know, we still can be hyper successful this season. But the guy's a liability. He's an absolute liability right now. He's had, I think, comfortably his worst season in a Manchester City shirt. I don't know, is that to coincide with his off-the-field relationships, is he not handling the weight of the captain's armband very well, the responsibility of that? I don't know. But he did not perform well yesterday. He did not perform well at all. Himself and Doku on the right-hand side. Doku has taken a lot of praise in recent weeks, justifiably. I think Doku and Walker, you cannot put into the same bracket and conversation in terms of what's expected of them. Doku is 21, so much to learn, so much progression to follow through with, you know what I mean, to grow into. Whereas Walker is an experienced, should be reliable player, super successful, knows the game inside out, knows these stages of the season inside out. So when he's dropping performances like yesterday, you're like, I don't know, can that run? I don't know, is that good enough? He should have been hooked. You know what I'm saying? He should have been hooked at half-time type thing, and move Stones on and put Akanji to right back or whatever. Bring Rico Lewis on even, because that whole right-hand side of our team, it became very quickly evident to Nottingham Forest that they could punish us down there. Both Doku and Walker giving away the ball sloppily, giving away free kicks sloppily, getting in behind us easily. It was total liability. I mean, I don't know what Walker. I love the guy, but if this is what's to be expected of him moving forward, I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, I don't know. I mean, can you think of any performances this season where you say Kyle Walker was fantastic?
The second half against Real Madrid, he was good. He was very good against Brighton. This is the thing, though. The last game, the last game we played before Forest, Brighton away, he was up there for man of the match. Got 2 assists. And then we turn up to Forest and he plays like that. It just sums up his season. There's no ounce of consistency. He's not dealt with anything well at all. Like, his performances have been shocking. He's had off-the-field issues. I don't think he's taken well to the captain's armband. He's not a leader, not in my eyes. He doesn't strike me as a natural leader. He's been the weakest link out of our defence. I think it's fair to say, this season. He's been the weakest link. He's been the player that has been attacked more often than not. He's cost us numerous goals.
He should be the strongest.
He should be the strongest. His whole reputation is built off of 1v1 defending against tough wingers. Vinicius, Mbappe, Neymar, those types of wingers. But he can't hack it against Anthony Elanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi. No. You can't be having that. Not the captain. Certainly not the captain. So I just think it's one of them where I said a few streams ago, look, I have no issues with keeping him around for those bigger games because he still somehow manages to turn up. But for one, if he wants to stay, I wouldn't have him as the captain next season. Not a chance. He's just not up there. Leadership group, yeah, fine. He's in his 30s. He's experienced. He's a winner, whatever. But captain, vice captain, no, not a chance. And he just can't play every week. I almost feel like he's only playing as much as he is because he's the captain. Because, he's the club captain. He's been voted by the players, by the management, whoever, to be the club captain, which is probably why he starts most weeks. I genuinely think if he didn't have the armband, he probably wouldn't have played as much as he was because he was rushed back from that injury to play against Real Madrid, wasn't he? Which I get it, it's Real Madrid, you kind of want him for that game, but like, there aren't many players that, Pep has properly rushed back into the team. You say John Stones maybe because he's so important, but there aren't many players that he takes that sort of liberty with. Look at Haaland. He didn't even start. He was fit, but he didn't start because he doesn't want to rush him back in. Kevin De Bruyne took him weeks to get a start and play significant minutes when he came back because he doesn't want to rush him. Kyle Walker almost feels like the opposite at the moment where he's nailed on to start, but he shouldn't be. He's the weak link of the defence. He is. He gets attacked. He was getting outpaced yesterday. Outpaced. How often does Kyle Walker get outpaced, realistically? Like, I don't know whether it's a lack of effort. I don't know whether that's his body just, naturally coming in the decline because he's in his 30s, given his age. Like, I don't know what it is, but his one redeeming quality is you put him 1v1 against a winger, he's not just going to be able to, be run past because he'll just catch up to them. But yesterday I saw Callum Hudson-Odoi and who's their left back? Is it Aina? Blitz past him. Like he wasn't there, like he was jogging.
I know. Listen, and he's complaining about the state of the pitch and so on and so forth. I don't know. Bigger professional Unai Emery in the chat. Good to see you, my brother. Hope you're doing well, man. He says I can excuse Doku because it's his strong suit to be able to it's his strong suit to be able to defend, but he needs to work on pressing. Walker, on the other hand, needs to be benched for the rest of the season. I agree. I think there needs to be a conversation about Kyle Walker and his role in the squad moving forward because it's just week on week on week. I'm not satisfied with Kyle Walker and what he's offering to us in every sense. But going forward, 2 assists, whatever the other day, that's fine, that's great. But going forward, generally, he's not great. And defensively, as you said, which is meant to be his strong suit, he's not at the races right now. But with Doku, like I said, look, he's got a lot to learn. So it is what it is with Jeremy Doku. I mean, Star says Walker's best days are behind him. They probably are. I get the feeling that when Pep convinced Walker to stay last summer, he gave him some sort of a guarantee on minutes because I don't understand what Pep's looking at. I don't understand how Pep is watching games like yesterday and other games throughout the season and saying, this guy has to play, this guy has to start when there's quite clearly better options, more reliable right now anyway, options on the bench and on the pitch that can be moved into that position. You know what I'm saying? You can move a Kanji there, very reliable, very trustworthy. You can move John Stones in there, other than his injuries, but performance-wise, very reliable, very trustworthy. You can move Rico Lewis out there, who this season, particularly since, over the last 2 months or so, when Rico Lewis has been called upon, Rico Lewis has been pretty excellent, if you ask me. So there's options there, but he persists with Kyle Walker. And I felt Kyle Walker could have cost us the game yesterday. And that's why I'm talking so much about Kyle Walker. He could absolutely have cost us the game. And the knock on to that is could potentially cost you the league. Fortunately, we were bailed out. We were bailed out with 2, I must say, really good goals. Let's start with the first one because Josko Gvardiol... Actually, sorry, I'll do this member chat first. I know what you meant, Professional Unai Emery. I actually know what you meant. Big up Bevo, member for 1 month. Big up Bevo being a member around here. There's a link in the chat. Anybody wants to be a channel member, as I always say, it's a prestigious club for prestigious people. So become a channel member if you are prestigious. Professional Unai Emery, prestigious. Bevo, prestigious. Briggsy, these are all prestigious people in a prestigious club. And Bevo, member for a month, says results over performance, 1 down, 5 finals to go. I think you're summarizing the thought process quite well here, Bevo, that I actually don't care that deeply about the performance. We will nitpick at it and we'll talk about what we're not happy with and what we are happy with. But it's always results over performance right now. Totally results driven. And we got the result yesterday thanks to 2 great goals. Josko Gvardiol chat. Josko Gvardiol, I put up a tweet last night. I'll read it out because I want you guys to back me up on this, man, to give me your thoughts, because I think it's true, and it's on 999 likes, by the way. Someone be the 1,000th like. I said, I think Gvardiol is going to go on to be an elite Prem defender. Come on, crazy amount since we first signed him, in a new position / role for him too. Goes under the radar on the wider media, but they'll start to rant and rave about him soon, I'm certain. This is what I said. I think Josko Gvardiol is an absolutely magnificent player with a fantastic character, a fantastic head and his shoulders, and he reads the game really well. Right now, he owns that left-back position, and you throw it back even 6 months ago, but definitely throw it back to 12 months ago. The idea of someone replacing Nathan Ake, who was our most reliable player throughout the treble season, was wild. Gvardiol has come in as a centre-half for big money, and yes, he took his time a bit, you know what I'm saying? He had to adapt a bit. Of course you fucking do if you're going from central to left side or to a fullback role. And now he just looks at home. He just looks so comfortable. I think he has a good relationship with Jack Grealish, who's in front of him a lot of the time. And look, we scored from a corner. If you guys have watched our watch-alongs recently, shout out Puneet. Myself and Joe complain about corners. I personally think corner kicks is our weakest area of our game. We're not threatening off corner kicks. But Gvardiol took that so well. And that he deserves that. You know what I'm saying? The goal against Luton, the goal against Real Madrid, and the goal yesterday against Forest, Josko Gvardiol totally deserves, because his overall input to our game, it's actually really important right now. Really important. He's starting to get himself into really attacking positions, both cutting in and getting to the byline, and he's got a good delivery on him too, which I really like. And he's developing a good relationship with the midfielders, and I've already said Jack Grealish. So I think Gvardiol, if this is what he looks like after 1 season in a new role, a new position for himself, I'm so excited to see what he looks like when he's 24, 25. He's 22, I think, right now, Gvardiol. 21, 22. What's he going to look like when he's 24, 25? And he's got more experience under his belt. He knows his role more, and he's more comfortable in general. And people are like, oh, well, this is what he should be doing because he costed this much. That's not fucking fair. What? So the guy can't get praise for how well he's playing just because he costs a lot of money. Because if he wasn't playing well, best believe the same people would be on his arse saying you paid this much from him, he's not performing. You know what I mean? Be balanced with this. Be fair with this. The guy deserves his flowers. I'm a massive fan right now of Josko Gvardiol, and it's starting to make sense. The plan for him, I suppose, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, anyone saying that this was to be expected given the price tag, I think should look in-house. At least some of them should look in-house at their own big money signings before they comment on expectations of big money signings. Because there are numerous that are underperforming at other clubs, and Gvardiol is not one of them. He's not underperforming. He's improved lots. I think when you look at the start of the season, it was fairly evident that he wasn't a left back. he was finding it a bit difficult to adapt to that role in both areas of the pitch. I think in terms of defending, stylistically, defending the wider areas of the pitch is different to the central areas of the pitch. So, of course, that's a little bit of a learning period there. And then, of course, being a fullback, he does have some attacking responsibilities as well. So he's had to learn, multiple things on the job, essentially, because he's very young. In a Pep Guardiola team where it's notoriously difficult for any player whatsoever to come in and make a difference in their first season, unless you're an anomaly like Haaland. It's very difficult for season 1 to hit the ground running under Pep. So he's done incredibly well, and he's got 3 in 5 now. That's 3 goals in 5 games, which is ridiculous. There was one point actually where Alvarez ran down the left wing. He found himself on the left wing, and Gvardiol was in the box. He was playing number 9.
Yes.
Like, what's that all about? Like, he's a good option. He's a good option, and I hope that we can actually learn how to take a corner and actually use the fact that he's quite big, because it was a great run to the near post, but how many times, and I think I figured this out, my corners are so bad, is forget the ones hitting the first man, that's just standard procedure, but how many times from a corner do we put 4 men on the goalkeeper and just put it on the goal line and see if someone fumbles it in? Like, why do we do that? We have like 4, 5, 6 foot plus players on the pitch at once. Why do we insist on trying to hit the goalkeeper and hoping he drops it in his own goal? I don't get it. Yesterday was a prime example. If you just put one in the right area, front post, someone makes a run, gets a flick on, that's a goal. Like, we have the players to be able to do that now. A few years ago, yeah, maybe understand. A few years ago, we were quite a small team. We're not a small team anymore. Like, we have some very big players, some players who have, threats in the air. So I don't know why our corners are so bad, because like a couple seasons ago, I think it was about 3 seasons ago, we were one of the best teams in the division from corners. We couldn't stop scoring from corners. Like Arsenal this season, half our goals came from corners. But now, it's like a lottery. We say it on watch longs all the time, might as well be a goal kick. Like, that's how little confidence we have in a corner. But I mean, I won't complain. I'll take it when it comes. It's like Tottenham away. So they come at the most ridiculous times sometimes, these corners, these good corners. They come when you need them.
Well, the stats are quite funny regarding corners.
The stats probably say we're good.
Yeah, they do. They say we have the 3rd most goals from corner kicks this season. And someone said that to me yesterday. I was watching the game yesterday, and someone said to me, "It's like, why are you complaining about corners when you have the 3rd most goals in the league from corners?" I said, "Well, we probably have the most fucking corners in the league, so I'd expect us to have at least some goals from corners." You know what I'm saying? Like, we get. What was the game recently where we had something like 20 corners? It was ridiculous.
Had Real Madrid. We had 16 corners, and they were all terrible.
Yeah. So, like, look, you know what I mean? A broken clock is right twice a day. You keep shooting shit, it's going to stick at some point. You know what I mean? You keep throwing wood at the wall type thing. But look, you can't take away from the finish from Gvardiol yesterday. And I want more of that. We know he was always a threat in the box, playing for Leipzig and Croatia. I want more of that, because when we have this many corners and this many set pieces given to us, you got to capitalize on them. But look, total credit to him. He took it so well, and I'm so excited about Josko Gvardiol. I think he's been one of the shining lights. And as I said, we need to big him up as a community, as a fan base more, because look, people saying, "Oh, he costs this amount of money, he should be playing that well." No one's doing that for Declan Rice, are they? With Declan Rice, everyone's like, "This guy's the fucking messiah." Do you know what I mean? He's got the biggest penis in North London, from what I hear. Like, they're happy to gas up Declan Rice with Mr. Big Price Tag, but when Josko Gvardiol plays very well, it's, "Oh, well, that's what he should be doing. He costed loads of money." No. Once again, I'll say the exact same thing I said about Foden regarding Gvardiol, yeah? I said if Foden was wearing a red shirt, the whole world would be ranting and raving about Phil Foden. If Josko Gvardiol was playing this way for Arsenal, Liverpool, or Manchester United, the whole world will be talking about Josko Gvardiol in a different light. The wider media will be all over him. Rival fans will be gassing him up. The fans of the club he's playing for will be gassing him up. But I think because he wears a blue shirt and he costed a fair bit of money, well, that's what he should be doing. No. That's not fair. That's double standards. Josko Gvardiol has been absolutely excellent this season, and he deserves every bit of praise. And they will catch on. They will catch on, but it's always late. It's always late
Will
to the
they?
party.
Will they catch on? Will they properly catch on? Like,
They will. They will. They will. They will. They will.
are you
They
sure?
always do.
Yeah, but by that point, it's too little, too late. Like, we've had a lot of players down the years who don't get the praise they deserve until they've left, or they're leaving, or until they've had their pomp. Like, David Silva only got his like real top praise from pundits when he left. Like, and I've only started seeing a load of Bernardo Silva, bigging up on Sky now that he's got his release clause and linked to leaving. Like, are you sure they're gonna big us up? And again, like you said, if they're in a red shirt, they would have done it already. Are you sure? I'm not so confident.
You get some smart arse pundit like Rio Ferdinand or someone being like, "You don't understand what Pep's doing with Gvardiol, how he's evolved the game and how he's changed the game with Gvardiol." Brother, he's been doing this. Do you know what I'm saying? He's been doing this. That's what I'm at. Phil Foden is slightly starting to get that praise that he deserves now from the wider media. But I've been hammering this agenda for months about Phil Foden. But they'll catch on with Gvardiol. They will catch on with Gvardiol, and they'll be saying, "Oh, why was no one talking about this guy? Why was no one looking at Gvardiol?" Bro, we've been talking about Gvardiol. I done told you about Gvardiol, man. Guy's cold. Listen, Joshua Gvardiol, keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. I like the relationship he's forming with Jack Grealish. And next season, I wouldn't be surprised to see it change up again. Gvardiol in centre half. I wouldn't be surprised to see Gvardiol stepping in beside Rodri. I wouldn't be surprised to see Gvardiol play as number 6 at times. Trust me, you may think, Hugh, you crazy Irish bastard. This is the kind of shit we've come to accept, and it's become part of life at Manchester City. I could see Gvardiol playing as a 6. I could see Gvardiol playing in a pivot. We know he's a centre half, and we know he can do left back. The guy has all the tools in his box to play, I think, any technical role, any ball controlling role. What are you laughing at?
Just the idea in my head that Pep's going to try his yearly 5-back and play Gvardiol as a flying left wing back. He's going to be bombing on down the touchline.
True, man. It's true. Hey, bigger professional Unai Emery, my brother, always coming through with the love. He says, "It's odd that Kevin De Bruyne is our best technical player. Can't beat the first man in a corner. Maybe we should probably consider someone else for corners."
You said it on a watch along. He's so good at everything, but oh my God, he's terrible at corners.
Special idiot, bro. I don't get it. Kevin De Bruyne is our greatest ever player. I know that's up for debate. People can argue whoever they want. But in my opinion, he's our greatest ever player. He's a Premier League all-timer. He's a Premier League all-timer. But I can't take a corner.
He cannot take a corner. He is great at crossing the ball from open play. He's got, what is it now, 16 Premier League assists in half the season. Brother cannot take a corner.
No one has more than him. No one has more than him. You know, in all competitions, no one has more assists than Kevin De Bruyne right now.
Can't take a corner. He can't take a corner.
He's level on assists in all competitions with Bukayo Saka. No Premier League player has more assists in all comps than Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne's played 23 games. I think Saka's played 48. But he cannot take a corner. He can't take a corner. But the thing is, professional Unai Emery, we don't really have a decent corner taker. Alvarez is desperate at corners as well. But there is one player who doesn't get enough opportunity on corners, and that's Jack Grealish.
I was about to say it.
He has a corner in him, Jack Grealish. We've definitely seen Jack Grealish come with decent corners, but we still persist with De Bruyne or Alvarez, who both stink at corner kicks. I've seen Alvarez take corners that end up as just goal kicks straight from the corner. You know what I mean? He kicks it over the goal and out for a goal kick. Doesn't touch anyone. Like, how can a professional footballer do that? I don't get it.
I don't either, but Grealish took a couple last season that were pretty good. Like, they might not have come across as goals. Like, they're not good because they come across as goals. They're good because we're getting ahead on it. We're actually making the first contact from a corner instead of it hitting the first man, or instead of the goalkeeper just catching it, or instead of it ending up on the roof of the net or out for a goal kick. Grealish should put in some good corners. Even Foden's diabolical at corners as well. Like, he's also one of our best technical players, Phil Foden, and he cannot take a corner kick either. Like, I don't understand why we are so useless. Like, are we just not practicing them? Like, we get so many every game because we usually have like 60-70% possession and have like, the average game for us is about what? 65% possession and, 20 shots when we play these, mid-table or lower table teams at home, especially. That sort of thing. We normally end up with double-digit corners. Do we not practice corners? Why do we not practice corners? It seems to me we don't practice them because nobody can actually take them. Like, if we practiced them, surely we'd, have some good deliveries. But if we're not practicing them, and I don't get it because we quite frequently get double-digit corners, like double-digit amount of corners. So I just don't get it. I don't get it.
My thinking is either Pep has no interest in corners, like he's just not arsed with corners, and he'd rather score through different ways, or else we have a really bad set piece coach, and we need a new one. But look, listen, I don't know. Professionally, it's something that they must be aware of, but. It kind of is what it is. Just a quick reminder, people, there's over 100 in the building and we're on 65 likes. Hit that big thumbs up button, man. Smash the thumbs up. It helps us massively here. Subscribe if you're new. We're getting close to 8.1k. We're about 10 subs off, so subscribe if you're new. And there's a link in the chat. Anybody wants to be a channel member, like Briggsy, like Professional Unai Emery, like Tom Haaland, like MJG, like Daniel Thompson. It's a prestigious club, man. Being a channel member, it's for prestigious people. It's a prestigious club for prestigious people. I always say this. So join the channel membership if you're a big dog. It's what the big dogs do. Become a channel member today. Right, let's keep it stepping, man. Let's keep it stepping. The second goal. Let's have a good conversation about this one because I think he deserves a good conversation, Erling Haaland. Chat, get your thoughts in about Erling Haaland. I was really happy and impressed with his performance yesterday. Although, how long was it for? Was it for about 20 minutes? 15, 20 minutes he got?
Maybe half an hour. Maybe half an hour. It was quite an early sub for Pep. Like, because he made two at half time, which shocked me because he never does that. I know Edison was in injury, but he never makes like a half-time sub. But he made Haaland ridiculously early.
He came on at 62. So we got a half an hour. That's more than a cameo, but he got a half an hour run. And immediately, I don't know about you, bro, but immediately I could see a difference in his movement. I could see a difference in his body language. And I could see a difference in his attitude. I felt Erling Haaland, he looked like, I don't know what has happened over the last week or two, but he looks like he has a new lease of life. Probably not playing that Brighton game or being involved in that Brighton game was the best thing for him. He looked so much more hungry, so much more enthused, so much more energetic and willing to make those runs into the channels that he kind of stopped making for a long time. Like his movement yesterday, he was making that yard for himself. I think a big issue with Haaland for a while was he stopped making that yard for himself, and probably through no fault of his own. Because he felt, if I make that yard for myself, I'm not going to get the fucking ball anyway. So I'm going to stop making the yard for myself. Whereas yesterday he was like, okay, I'm going to make it for myself. I'm going to run. I'm going to work. He looked like he stopped focusing so much on physical altercations and trying to have wrestling matches with centre halves, and more about bringing it back down to his own basics, right back to the basics of what Erling Haaland does really well, which is movement, instinct, striker play, and he got his goal out of it. He got his goal, so hopefully this is now the platform for him, get his confidence back, feeling good about himself, and help us over the course of these next 5 finals that Bevo said in his member chat. He took his goal so well, and I said in my review video, Joe, it's night and day. It's night and day, with all due respect to Julian Alvarez. The striker play when Haaland is on it, compared to when Alvarez is playing. When he's on it, when he's feeling himself, he's feeling good. The striker play is night and day, yeah? Because Haaland, when he gets the ball through De Bruyne, great assist. If he gets the ball from De Bruyne, Haaland looks like he's shimmying. He's going to cut in onto a stronger left foot. That's what the centre half thinks. And even if he does cut onto a stronger left foot, you'd still fancy him to hit the target and maybe score. He drags it, goes on his right foot, and just tucks it away. Just calmly caresses it, tucks it away at the bottom right corner. Whereas Alvarez in that situation, first of all, A, he's going on his right foot. He ain't using his left foot. And B, he's going to rifle it. Absolutely thunder bastard, that ball. May end up in the back of the net, or else the kid in Rosed's getting a souvenir. Whereas Haaland, he just has this, you can't coach. You cannot coach what Erling Haaland has. It's just pure striker's instinct. So, look, overall with Haaland, I felt like yesterday he was back. What we saw yesterday in that half an hour was the Haaland of last season. And the Haaland of last season, we haven't seen much this season. But yesterday, we did see it. And I think it's coming back at the right time. I was so... Like, if you watch his overall play, you know what I'm saying, Joe? I was really happy with him.
I mean, just as you're going on your monologue, there's the guaranteed comment, MCTV. We play better football with Alvarez, but we're more clinical with Haaland. I hate this narrative so much. I'm sick of it. We don't play better just because Alvarez is in the team. I don't care how deep he drops, how involved he gets in the play. His touch is heavy and his passing's not that good. And he's taking goals out of the team. So I don't get the narrative personally. What, just because he has more touches? It might look better on the eye, but do we actually play better because Alvarez gets more touches? I don't think so. I really don't think it makes that much of a difference to warrant him being in there. I don't get the narrative. You're feeding into the whole Sky Sports, Jamie Carragher, he picked the wrong club side of things, where it's almost like, he scores loads of goals, but he doesn't do anything else. Alvarez is a better Pep player. Pep might like Alvarez better. In fact, I probably think he does, considering he likes to stick with him. He likes to shoehorn him in, various opportunities, but we don't play better with Alvarez. I'm not buying it. I just don't get it. But the thing with Haaland is that he might have also had a point to prove yesterday, because you look at, because he missed the Brighton game, but I think in his mind, and in my mind as well, knowing that he was fit for this game, I thought he was going to start. I thought Haaland fit, he starts. It was probably a bit of a shock to the system for him to be left on the bench, for Pep to go, I know it wasn't like a long-term injury. It was only a little thing that kept him out for a couple of games. But I think in his mind, he was like, I only missed a couple of games. I'll be back in. So he had a bit of a point to prove coming on off the bench, basically being like, he's trusted to go and see this game out for us, to essentially win us the game, get us that second goal, the cushion. And again, like he almost needed to prove to himself almost that he still had it. Like he still had that, clinical instinct within him, that he still was able to contribute, because he went a while there where he was playing WWE. He was just wrestling. He wouldn't get the ball wouldn't fall to him, he wasn't being found, and it was just, how long could he physically impose himself, was essentially the thing. How much space could he make by wrestling defenders? He was there as a decoy because we weren't finding him, but he was found today, and he had to do a little bit more. Oh, well, he was yesterday, but he had to do a little bit more with his goal than maybe would have normally been expected. Like, he wasn't given the ball in the box and he just had a shot. Like, he had to actually take the defender on a little bit, but that's still more service. That's still better service than he's gotten for weeks. Like, that one ball, sending him one-on-one with a defender is, that's probably the best chance he's had in a long, long time. Like, that's how bad it's been for him. That's how bad it's been. And it's not like totally our fault either, because teams are game planning and going and putting 2-3 players on him at times. They're parking the bus, packing the penalty area. It's hard to get him the ball. So it's not necessarily, directly our fault, but like, that's what he needs. That's what he lives off of. And if I do agree, look, he looked more up for it this time. He looked happier, just happier. Coming onto the pitch, he looked like he was actually enjoying himself, rather than a few weeks ago it was just a slog, because he knew he was going to be in a physical battle for 90 minutes and he was not going to really touch the ball too often. And if he got one chance, that was probably it, because that was just a game plan from the other team. So he probably sensed there was an opportunity today with the fact that he came on at 1-0 and Forest were giving it a little bit to try and get back in the game and try and score a goal. He probably felt that there was a little bit of space there. So it was good for him. I just hope he keeps it up. I have no doubt that if you feed him, if you give him the service like he got, like even those chances, he's probably going to put one of those away. You give him something easier, he's definitely going to put it away. Like, it's all about rhythm. When he went that run, sort of Chelsea at home and in and around that, where he was missing sitters, it's because he had there was no consistency with his chances. He had no time to build up a rhythm to, consistently score. When you look at last season, he scored so many goals because he was in a rhythm. He was in a level game plan of where he was getting chance after chance after chance. He was in a good goal scoring rhythm. He was in good form. And when he got, I think it was, the back end of the season last season, when the chances started getting a little bit less, that's when he started missing. That's when he stopped scoring as much.
It's true. It's true. And I think Haaland, like most strikers, is a player that thrives off confidence. He thrives off confidence, thrives off chances, thrives off space. And when you can connect two or three of them together, you're going to get a pretty dangerous player. I believe he's the best striker in world football. I really do believe that. I don't think we'd used him properly for quite a while, and I think he struggled mentally from that. I think his approaches to games became quite ugly and became quite dark. Whereas he looked like, as you say yesterday, he looked happy, new lease of life. I don't know, maybe it's something they spoke about in training. We need to find ways to get Haaland on the ball, be more direct with getting Haaland on the ball when he's on the pitch. I'm fully on board with you regarding the Alvarez thing. I don't buy into we play better with Julian Alvarez. I think people are too quick to say that, and it might be a lazy comment because it's lazy to say we play better with Alvarez. Why? Because you see more of Alvarez. You just see him on the pitch more. You see him bobbling around more. He gets more touches on the ball. He drops deeper. What is that more productive? Is that us playing better? Are we gaining more from that? Are we scoring more from that? Are we conceding less from that? No, we're not. You just see more of Julian Alvarez's face on the pitch, simple as. And I think we can. I think we do play very good with Erling Haaland when used correctly and when the approach is correct. And I think for that half an hour yesterday, the approach was correct and it just aligned. So look, you used the word rhythm. I know there's not a huge amount of rhythm to be got out of 5 games coming up, but if this can be the start of a platform for Haaland to work off for these next 5 games, look, I don't know what the summer's going to hold transfer-wise. Do I think he's going to leave? No, I don't think Haaland's going to leave. But I did make the point to you lot about a week ago that I wouldn't be surprised that if it continues the way it had been continuing, regarding Haaland's playing style and the team's playing style, that if Haaland came out and said I'm not happy, I wouldn't be surprised with that. But look, we have 5 games to go this season, 4 Premier League games and an FA Cup final. If we can emulate the half an hour we had out of Haaland yesterday in all 5 of those games, we win all 5 of those games. I'm actually certain of it. I'm absolutely certain of it. I think Haaland is the defining factor between us and anybody else right now. Do I think without Haaland we are, streets ahead of everybody else in European football, streets ahead of Arsenal? No, I don't. I think Arsenal are a very good team. I think they can beat anybody. I think we can beat anybody. But our defining factor is we have an elite striker that we haven't used properly for a while, but yesterday we did use. He's the defining factor. If we use him properly, I think we can win the league without Haaland. Of course I do. It can happen. But I think if we use Haaland properly, I think we win this league. I think we absolutely win this league. Genuinely.
I mean, of course we could win it without him. We won it without a striker in general. Twice.
Yeah.
He's not the be-all and end-all, but, I mean, it helps getting service to a guy who scored 52 goals or however many it was. Like, that naturally helps. So, I think he's also, in his head now, knows that it's game time. Golden boot. Races on. Races on for the golden boot. His golden boot is under threat. I don't think he would have thought that ever would have been a case, but Cole Palmer, who left, and even then, you got players like Ollie Watkins up there as well, Bagsman. They're gunning for that. They're gunning for it. They're gunning for that golden boot. Cole Palmer taking loads of penalties for Chelsea, getting up there in the golden boot. He knows it's under threat. If he wants it, he's got to score. And if he wants to score, he's got to be up for it.
Haaland can't be allowing Cole Palmer to take the golden boot off him. You can't be allowing that, Erling. And I don't know. I know Haaland, when he speaks, he's always like, I'm not bothered about individual awards. I'm not bothered about goals once the team is winning. Yappa, yappa, yappa. It's lies, people. It's lies. If you genuinely believe for a second that the most elite and best striker in world football isn't bothered about getting individual goal scoring awards, you're wrong. He's a striker by nature. He's a striker by position. He wants to be at the forefront of the goals. He wants to be the best at scoring the goals. He wants the most goals. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter how many penalties X man's getting or Y man's getting. He wants to be getting the most goals. So maybe this is in his thought process the last couple of weeks. He's like, look, I've not really enjoyed the play style. I've not enjoyed the lack of service I've had. I know we as a channel here and City fans and plenty of people have spoke about it being City's fault. You know what I mean? We're not finding him enough. The play style doesn't suit Erling Haaland. But maybe he's like, look, I could be part of the problem too. Maybe there's more I can do to get on the ball. And there was more he did yesterday. There absolutely was more that Erling Haaland did yesterday that we haven't seen. I mean, look at his movement yesterday in comparison to, say, the Real Madrid home game. The Real Madrid home game, I think Haaland in his head was just like, fuck this. Like what is this? Like, what's the point of me being on the pitch here? And it affected him. He stopped moving. He stopped running. He was focused on battling with Rudiger and whoever. And yesterday he was like, okay, I'm going to move. I'm going to see what I get from it. Never give up. And he didn't give up. So look, he's levels, man. I think he's the difference maker. We have Wolves next week. He'll start every game between now and the end of the season, no doubt. But he's got a big opportunity now to write some history. We have a big opportunity to write some history. But we're going to talk about the title race now in a sec. But I wanted to have that conversation about Erling Haaland because he was excellent. He was excellent for that half an hour. I think we played better with Haaland, number 9, yesterday than we did with Alvarez beforehand. So does that not nullify the argument?
Well, I mean, I thought so too, because before that, it was... We looked hopeless. I didn't see where a second goal was coming from because people make the argument we played better with Alvarez because he gets more involved, more touches on the ball. We couldn't control the ball for the first 15 minutes of the second half until Haaland came on after those 15 minutes and then he scored because we played direct, we played to Haaland and he scored. When Alvarez is on the pitch, when people talk about him getting more involved and dropping deep and there's more link-up play and, there's more passing options. We weren't using them. Forest were all over us for 15 minutes. So, again, playing better? I wouldn't call it playing better. We were getting swamped. we needed a Haaland to go up there and basically go, play more direct. Play to him. Give them something to think about. Don't make it predictable and go pass. Because it wasn't working. We were giving the ball away. It doesn't take a genius to figure out. When we tried to play out yesterday, especially the start of the second half, we got caught out. We kept giving the ball away. Silly passes, sloppy first touches. Trying things that weren't on. And then you get Haaland in there, you play direct, we go bang 2-0. And then at that point, it's just about doing your job. So we played better with Haaland playing up front. It's just what happened yesterday. That's the nature of the game. It's not that Alvarez was necessarily too bad or ineffective, but the whole narrative that we play better when it's Alvarez up front is just pointless because it's lazy. It really is lazy. I do think it just boils down to the simple matter of fact of Alvarez gets touches on the ball, Haaland doesn't. That's what it boils down to. That's why people think we play better because he gets more involved.
True, it's true. But yeah, big up Erling Haaland, man. Big up Erling Haaland. I'm very happy with him right now. Right, we're going to keep it stepping onto the title race, but I'm going to look on my G in the chat there. But before we bring that up, just a reminder, we're 12 likes off 100, so hit the like button, get it up to 100. Subscribe if you're new around here. We're about 10 off 8.1 thousand subscribers, which is fantastic. So subscribe if you're new. And there's a link in the chat if anybody wants to become a channel member. Prestigious club for prestigious people. You know how it goes, people. Prestigious club for prestigious people. Become a channel member today. Help support me and Joe if you wish. And it comes with perks. I just want to get this up really quickly because it is kind of topical. I don't really like this topic, but when things come out, it's all right to bring them up. Especially if it's a City content creator or a City fan or City, I don't even know what you'd call Tommy, aggregator, source, I don't know. He spoke on the charges. Yeah, I retweeted both of them. I just want to get your opinions, Joe, and I'll share mine briefly. He says, you've probably seen these, City have sent out a number of Liga warning letters to demand they cease and desist or action will now be taken. The club are doing this from a position of strength and knowledge. City's entire executive team has a level of confidence far greater than before the CAS trial that the club will have our name cleared at the independent tribunal. So obviously, look, I don't know Tommy personally. I don't know where he gets his sources, where he gets his information. I don't even know what his track record is like regarding being accurate or inaccurate, but people like Tommy's information, and he must have a few hits if that's the case. He's basically just saying in summary, people that City are really confident. I don't know anything about this letters out for cease and desist. Like I said to you guys plenty of times, I'm not a legal man. I've never claimed to know much about this sort of thing. But regarding our charges, yeah, he believes City are in a good position. I mean, look, Grizz is a source, isn't he? Or he says he's ITK. He said to me last night he's heard something different. He's heard negatives. Grizz reckons he's heard something bad regarding our charges.
Oh, shock. A Liverpool fan saying he's seen shit. Seen the emails. I've heard bad things. What's next? What is next? Tell me. I don't know. What can they tell us next? I've seen the emails. I've heard bad things. What's the next? Is he smelling something next? Is it next sense? What is next? What is happening? What the hell are going on?
I mean, as Moji says, if Grizz hears negative, it's good for us. It's true because Grizz's record with ITK shit's appalling.
I
It's
saw his
appalling.
stuff about Liverpool's manager. Someone digging up all the archives of Alonso, and then it was Amarim, and then it was like now it's.
No. Before that, Joe, it was Hey Jude. We had Caicedo. We had Lavia.
I know. It's
he's like
so bad.
He's like 009 at this point or something, man. He's got a bad track record with these things. So big up Grizz in that. I don't know where he gets his info from, but it's not been great for him recently. But I'm gonna remain objective once again, people. Even with what Tommy said, I don't pay too much attention to it. I retweet it, and if it's, I like to get excited about it, but I don't allow myself to get too carried away with any good news or bad news. Because as I've always said, I don't think any of us really have a fucking clue. I don't think any of us are really in the know. I don't think any of us really understand the situation perfectly. We can all try to understand it, and we can all talk about it. I've no problem talking about it, but when you boil it right down to the basics, I'm always honest. I'm waiting for official information, club statements, Premier League statements, whatever. That's what I'll wait for. So big up Tommy. I hope Tommy's accurate. I hope he's true in what he's saying here. And we'll see. Do you know what I'm saying, man? We'll see. I mean, do you have any opinions on it, Joe, or is it just kind of similar to me?
What can I say apart from I don't know. Like, you want my opinion on it? Fine. I mean, like, I'm not gonna fully take on board what Tommy says. Not because I don't trust him. In fact, I trust him with a lot of stuff. Like, I think that he's got stuff right before. Like, I can't just disregard it. But I can't take it as gospel. I can't sit here and go, well, Tommy said it must be true. I don't know. It'll be what it'll be. I don't think there's a world in which anybody knows what's going on. Grizz says he's heard negative things. He has not a clue what's going on. Tommy said that we're doing this, and this, and it's all positive and we're going to be cleared. I don't think he has too much idea what's going on. This is not like an out there legal case. This is not your normal everyday thing. This is very severe, these are very severe charges. This is a very severe accusation. It's not going to be, a lot of public information on this one. So nobody really knows what's going on. I do still think that we'll be innocent in all of this because I trust my club. That's always been my stance. I trust my club. So if they say we're innocent, I believe them. But at the end of the day, it'll be what it'll be. I'm not too pushed, to be honest. I was saying it the other day to a couple of friends who was an Arsenal fan in there. I said, I don't care if they relegate us, if they send us down to the conference. It'd be quite fun. It'd be quite fun to go and do that and just go back up, because I can guarantee you right now we'll be sent down, packing, conference, National League, whatever. We would still win a Premier League title before Manchester United.
I mean, look, think about it this way. 15 years ago, or 2024, we'll say 20 years ago, yeah? If you were told, or if we were told as a fan base, over the course of the next 20 years, you'll win everything. Absolutely everything, yeah? You'll dominate England, you'll see the best players, you'll have the best manager, you'll break records, you'll do things English football has never ever seen. Trebles, centurions, formidables, domestic clean sweeps, back-to-back, 3 in a row, maybe 4 in a row in a few weeks. You'll do everything. But in 2025 or 2026, you'll be found guilty of X and Y, and you'll be sent down to League 2. We'll say League 2, yeah? Lock me up and throw away the key. Yeah? That's what I'm saying. Here you go, officer. Lock me up and throw away the key. Because, look, whether you like it or not, football and winning, you're not doing it for other people. You're not doing it for other fans. You're not doing it to impress other clubs. You're doing it for memories. Football, it's for memories. You're going to enjoy yourself. You want to enjoy yourself. You want to experience big days. You want to experience great moments. And we as a fan base have done it all. We've seen it all. I've seen it all. I've been on the pitch in the Etihad. I've seen us beat Man United in the FA Cup final. I've seen us get 100 points. I've seen us do domestic clean sweeps. And I've had a season ticket for the whole thing. I've seen the whole thing with my own 2 eyes. I mean, the only one I've missed really is Istanbul, unfortunately, but that was financial. You know what I mean? I couldn't afford Istanbul. I've seen it all. I've experienced it all. You lot have all seen it all, experienced it all in your own ways. So if the knock on to that is you get relegated or you get found guilty, and what?
What? Like, you've basically, again, like you say, you go back 20 years, you tell them all this. It's basically become one of the greatest sides of one of the greatest eras ever, and then be relegated and go piss up the lower leagues for a bit. It's fun.
The only people who will take any pleasure are those who dislike us, and everyone dislikes us. So I don't care that deeply. Like, I don't care. I will still go in League 2. I'll still go in League 1. I don't think it's going to happen.
I think that's what people don't understand, though. When people talk about relegating us, they think, oh, you're going to get relegated. They think we care. No, if anything, we don't care about the outcome, because if we stay in the league, we've made an absolute mockery of the Premier League. If we get found innocent, we've made a mockery of them. Like, that's something you don't recover from. That'll stay forever. And
also,
they will still also be pissed off, because they will bring out the brown envelopes. You paid them off, this, that, the other. We will never be innocent, even if we are found innocent. That's the way it goes. And on the other hand, if we're found guilty and relegated, we'll enjoy it, man. We'll enjoy going down the lower leagues. It's something different. It's something that we'll have a laugh with. We don't really care too much. We've seen it all. Go down the lower leagues, have a bit of fun. We'll be back before you know it.
it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we'll get a slap on the wrist, or I think we'll be found totally innocent. I genuinely think we'll be fine. That's just I don't nothing to stand on it with, nothing to back that information or to back my thought process up with. It's just my feeling, and it's my trust for the club. It's everything. It's just the way I feel about the situation. And also those who will complain and be like, "Oh, justice has been served. City have been found guilty. They've been sent down to League 2." You're the biggest loser in the situation. We've ruined 15 years of your life that you'll never get back. You can't roll back the clocks. You can't wipe our memories. We ruined 15 years of your life. 15 years of your time was spent watching Manchester City get better and better and better and dominate. So who's the biggest loser here? We had a great time. It's not done, though. It's not done. I think it'll be perfectly fine.
Can you imagine that fairy tale, though? I think Briggsy's just said it there. Experience the top now, experiencing the ride from the bottom. Can you imagine being relegated to League 2, going all the way back up and winning the Premier League, and telling it as if it's some sort of fairy tale story that we've gone from the bottom to the top? Can you imagine? Like, honestly, the win-win either way. I don't care about the outcome. I've seen things. I agree with you. I think we'll be fine. A slap on the wrist or totally innocent. We'll never hear the end of it, because for as much as rivals go on about they don't care, they do. They can't keep our club's name out their mouth, out their tweets. So they do care. But as much as they say they don't care, they're just going to hit us with the stick of, you paid them off. You're not actually innocent. We know this. We know that that's to be the case. But in all honesty, do we care? No. The same thing happened with CAS and the UEFA ban. We got found totally innocent. We got fined because we didn't cooperate with them. But we got found innocent. We got put back in European competition. People still go on about it today and refer to this 115 case as the same thing. And, act like, oh, you paid off UEFA, you can't pay off the Premier League, or if you're innocent, you paid off UEFA and the Premier League. Waste of time, man. Waste of time. I don't care enough.
What will be, people. What will be. Right, let's drop the Chargers talk there now.
Always comes back, doesn't it? Even though we say we have nothing more to add, it always comes back.
I think we'll be fine. Everyone can stay calm. Right, North London derby happened yesterday. Arsenal won 3-2, obviously. When they won that game, yeah, and we were about to kick off in half an hour's time. I was putting up tweets. I was saying things like, "Oh, I don't care if Arsenal win 20-0. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? As long as we do our thing, that's all that matters." They're getting in my DMs, then being like, "Oh, you're shaking, aren't you? You're shaking. You saw what we just did to Tottenham." I said, "Yeah, I did see what you just did to Tottenham. You nearly bottled a 3-0 lead."
A 3-0 lead you shouldn't have even had as well. because that was not a deserved 3-0 lead, and they almost threw it away.
So I'm saying, man. What'd you make of the weekend in general and the North London derby?
It was a good weekend for us. Like, again, we did our job. We got a goal difference swing. Again, I keep mentioning it. I think it's still like a little bit too much for us to overcome. But we still got a goal difference swing. +1. Still got a game in hand. Arsenal look a little bit like I wouldn't say falling apart, but they eased off against Tottenham. They thought the game was done 3-0. And they eased off, and it almost hurt them. They almost took it as they have 3 games left. They were 3-0 up. Let's save a bit of energy, make a few subs. And again, they almost threw it away. It was kind of an undeserved 3-0 lead, wasn't it, really? Because it was Arsenal turned 1-1 into 3-0. That's wild. That is wild. So I wouldn't say that they didn't deserve to win or they were shocking. I just think 3-0 was a very, very kind scoreline at that point in the game. Very, very kind. It shouldn't have been 3-0. I thought when it went 2-0, they were lucky to be ahead. They really were, because it was right on the back of the disallowed Tottenham goal. 3-0 was just a sucker punch. At that point, it's pretty much game over. I know you say Tottenham almost came back, and they did. But at 3-0, it's kind of, in those sorts of games against that caliber of opposition, when he gets a 3-0, it's pretty much wraps at that point. Like, you can put in effort, you can get it close, but you just kind of know at that point that there's too much on the line for Arsenal to completely just fall away. Or you'd think at that point there's too much on the line. So, to be honest, I wasn't expecting much different. I know people were trying to think North London derby. Tottenham might do us a favour because they don't want Arsenal to win the league. But to be honest, I didn't see anything other than an Arsenal win. That's what I expect for the rest of the season, for them to go perfect. I really do. They're playing at that level again where they're taking it one game at a time, which is what they should be doing. And they're just, seeing what comes to them, seeing if something falls their way. So I expect them to win. But if I was an Arsenal fan, it wouldn't fill me with like the most confidence, knowing that they managed to make 3-0 look really difficult.
I thought Tottenham played the better football in general. Tottenham did play the better football, but you know what I mean? The better football doesn't always get you the win, and that's the way it panned out. I mean, the Van de Ven goal, was it offside? Was it onside? It's up for debate. It is what it is. I don't really care. I don't really care. I thought Arsenal fans, and I don't generalize, but a lot of the Arsenal fans and wider media talking about Arsenal putting in title-winning performances. And I was like, what are you on about title-winning performances? I mean, it's in our hands. We have the keys to win this title. As long as we win every single game remaining, it doesn't matter what performances Arsenal put in. They can go and beat everybody 100-0 over the next 3-4 games. There's no trophy for it. There's no Premier League trophy for it. City, all they have to do is win 1-0 the next 4 games, and City the league champions. I think we will. I think we'll win every game, and I think we'll be the league champions. And I think this will be the most impressive and unimpressive of our Premier League. Now, hear me out. Why is
I don't need to hear you out because I know the reasoning.
All right, go on, do it, say it.
It's impressive because of, well, at least in my mind, it's impressive because 4 in a row never been done before. There's questions about the hunger levels of this squad. A load of new signings, a lot of things up in the air, but it's unimpressive because we have an absolutely abysmal Big Six record, and Arsenal have beaten us and got 4 points off of us. Like, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't be allowed to happen, which is why it's like pretty like it's not the most impressive because they've basically just handed it to us. They've done everything they should have done. Got a point swing on us. Pretty good Big Six record. We've got a terrible one, and it's still in our hands. Like, that's not impressive. They've handed it to us.
Exactly. That's it. That's literally it. We have not played impressively this season. We've just hung in there. We've just hung in there and hung in there. Played poorly at times and just hung in there. And now we've caught them and surpassed them in terms of, it's there for us to go and win. So It's a good weekend. It's a good weekend. It does, like I said, the rival games don't matter as long as City win. It's a good weekend. We're 4 away from immortality, Premier League royalty. We are Premier League royalty, but we will be the kings of the Premier League in 4 weeks' time. 4 weekends, 4 Premier League games, and we are the kings of Premier League football. The greatest club side of all time if we win 4 in a row, in my opinion. You know, you have a treble in there as well in that 4 in a row. Like, could be a double if we win the FA Cup. It's just it's mind-blowing stuff, man. It's mind-blowing stuff, and yeah, it is what it is, man. We'll keep it stepping. I think we're gonna wrap it up there because we kind of talked about everything we needed to. I think we're gonna do a video about something. We're not sure yet, and that'll come out later on this evening. There'll be no more stream this evening because I've got Big Six at 9. But we'll be back tomorrow at the usual time of 3:30. We might get some guests on for an evening show or the Champions League tomorrow. We'll get some guests on. We'll find some stuff to talk about, content, whatever, transfers, he's went going on there, and yeah, keep building up slowly towards the next final, which is Wolves on the weekend. So listen, big up all of our members in the building who joined us. Big up Professional Unai Emery for the super chat. Big up Bevo for the member chat. Do us a favor, chat. Share the channel, man. Share the channel. We'd love to hit 10K. That's the big dream right now. 10K. When me and Joe first started this channel, the idea of having 10K subs was crazy, and now it's a real possibility in the near future. So share it around. Hit the like button. Become a channel member, like the Sit Down with Jeff, Briggs, Emojis, Bree, Herbal, MJG. Big up all these members, man. Daniel, whoever. Become a channel member. The link in the chat and at the top of the description. Hit the subscribe button. And we'll see you tomorrow with some more live content, but there should be a video this evening too. Enjoy the rest of your day. Wrap her up, Joe.
Listen to your heart. Tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me that you understand.